Good morning. Welcome to your early morning intuitive guidance for this fine St. Patrick's Day. It is Thursday. Got to check my reality testing there. I think I'm intact. So, I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum, America's kick-ass coach and psychologist. Here are some words for us today, and we have a wonderful card from the Power of Surrender deck. And my flip screen is working today. Good morning, Joe. Glad you're here. Flip screen's working, and it did its little countdown that it was going to make me go live. So all is well in Facebookville today. We'll see how long it lasts. So our card is Surrender Fear. Surrender Fear. Time to turn this over, whatever you're fearful about. And sometimes we don't even know what we're fearful about. It's simply this free-floating kind of fear we have that isn't really anchored in anything. Good morning, Mary. Welcome, welcome. Glad you are here live. And again, our card is Surrender Fear. Surrender Fear. Looks like someone else is here. Glad to see you. Linda, thank you for joining us this morning. So, a couple of nice deep breaths just to settle in. Letting your shoulders drop. Thank you for the coffee, Mary. Letting your shoulders drop on every exhale. A little more each time. Checking in with your body, maybe a few wiggles just to settle in, whatever works for you. And then I want you to listen, not only with your physical ears, but with your intuitive ears. The parts of you that know what you need to hear from this and what needs to be put into practice for you. So here's our card, Surrender Fear. Let go of the fearful stories you are telling yourself. Stay in the moment. Focus on solutions and celebrate every baby step forward. Excuse me. For 3 sentences, there is a whole lot of good in there. So let's just kind of unpack it a bit and see what resonates for each of you. So the first one, let go of the fearful stories you are telling yourself. Last night I had my developing intuition class, and she was having us attend to. She'd put a picture on her screen. She could see it, we couldn't. And then we were to draw whatever came to us. And she said the biggest difficulty is going to be, good morning, Luann. The biggest difficulty is going to be us wanting to impose interpretation on things. So, I'm just going to make something up. So we see something long and yellow and we assume banana, but maybe it's school bus. The gist being long and yellow is accurate, but our brain wants to interpret it into something. Same for these things. Something occurs in our world. We feel a sense of something. We label it fear. And then we create the story of what that was that occurred in our world that is commensurate with fear. All right? What if we labeled that something else? So the Fritz Perls comment about anxiety is excitement without the breath. Good morning, Trudy. Glad you're here. Anxiety is excitement without the breath. Think about that. So we add in breath and we're to excitement instead of anxiety. Isn't that a lovely way to shift things? What am I telling myself that's creating this feeling inside me? What label am I putting on these physical sensations? What story am I telling myself about these specific events I'm seeing out here? So for instance, I could take 10 people, I could show them something, and have them tell me what they saw. The interpretations, what we're getting is interpretations. Interpretations through each person's filters. And some of those are longer standing filters, like the world is a dangerous place or the world is a safe place. Depending on which filter you have, which you may not even be aware is operating, you're going to perceive different things, okay? So, let go of the fearful stories you're telling yourself. So what do you need to do in order to do that? First of all, mind down to those filters. Realize what filters you're looking at things through. So I'll just give you one that came from my adolescence. We babysat for my two sisters, and I babysat for these two little girls. Their parents both worked 3 to 11 shift, and so we rotated through days. You know, we'd go to school, and then one of us would do a 3 to 11 shift 5 days a week. And we were walking one of the little girls home. This was before her little sister was born, and she goes, "Aren't we going to cross the street?" And we looked at her, and she goes, "There's a man coming." She had already realized that we subconsciously viewed men as dangerous, and we're going to cross the street to remain safe. She picked it up, she articulated it. We had just operated on it, my sister and I, without realizing that we were even doing it. So how many of those things are operating in your world? Notice some of the subconscious things that you do. You're going to have to move into awareness to see this. Do you take a certain route to work every day? Why do you take that route? So I'll give you someone might say, "Yeah, I take all the back roads to work every day." How come that is? Well, I don't like the highway. Okay, what about the highway don't you like? Well, it's too fast, it's dangerous, people die up there, whatever it is. There's all of these subconscious things operating that when someone asks you the question, you can articulate it. You can find those underlying things for yourself. Journaling is an amazing way. I'm going to put a plug in here for journaling. Journaling is an amazing way to figure out a bunch of these subconscious things that you have operating. So let's say I won't eat chicken. I'm just making stuff up here. Let's say I won't eat chicken, but I have no idea why I won't eat chicken. I just don't like it. Okay? I might write about that. So the left hand, I'm left-handed, dominant hand writes, "Why don't I like chicken?" Put the pen in your other hand. It's laborious to write with the other hand for most of us. Do it anyway. It's tapping a different area of your brain. You may get an answer that you didn't even realize was in there. Right. There's a writing exercise that The Artist's Way talks about, Julia Cameron. And it's just writing. 3 pages of longhand every morning. She calls them morning pages. And you can write about anything. My left foot itches, my left foot itches, my left foot itches. This is stupid. I can't come up with anything. Wonder what's for breakfast, blah, blah, blah. Eventually something blurps out that's useful. You may not even notice it blurping out. When you go back and you read, you may go, "Well, where did that come from?" It came from inside, came from somewhere. So practicing letting go of the fearful stories you're telling yourself. Since we often don't know why something happened or why something is the way it is, doesn't it make sense to pick the kindest, most loving story to tell yourself about why that is? Rather than picking the one that's going to make you feel bad, why not pick one that allows you to feel good? Since you don't know anyway, you're making it up anyway. Go with the good story, all right? Stay in the moment. Stay in the moment. Alcoholics Anonymous has been preaching this for generations. Stay in today. Be present. Be here now. The past is done. It's done. The future isn't here yet. We can't control what's coming. We can control our present moment. The only place we have any influence is our present moment. Who are we talking to? What are we saying? What are we doing? How are we feeling? All that stuff that's in the moment, that's where our power lies. Stay in the moment. Focus on solutions. And again, yesterday I put these 2 points out there, and I'm going to do it again. So, our problem-solving focus has to be on bringing in the light, not trying to eliminate the darkness. Deepak Chopra, okay? Bring in the light. Don't waste your time lamenting the darkness, all right? And Albert Einstein, you cannot solve a problem with the same level of thinking that created it. If here's what created the problem, your solution's going to be up here. So we have to up level to get to the level of a solution, all right? Focus on solutions and celebrate every baby step forward. Most of us, the vast majority of us, are terrible at celebrating incremental steps. We want to withhold celebration until the end result. That's a pretty lean schedule of reinforcement, you guys. We need to be rewarding ourselves all the way along. I've got this stupid little one that I do, and everybody laughs when I do it because I do it out loud. I'll accomplish some little thing and I'll go, yay me! But it's my validation of I'm moving forward. I am moving forward. And I'm going to keep moving forward until this thing is accomplished. I'll give you an example that I'm living by right now, which is I took the Hay House Writers Workshop. They did a free one, and I purchased one. And what Reed Tracy, the CEO of Hay House, says is write a page a day. By the end of the year, you have a book. And I'm like, cool, that's very doable. A page a day, I can hand scratch. And I already do morning pages, so 3 pages a day. Wow. But it's those little kinds of things like that. I took Denise Lynn's clutter clearing class recently. I'm doing a whole lot of classes lately. I just realized that. And one of the things that she said is incremental, little. Just pick something. Pick a drawer. Pick a shelf. Make it simple. So I'm looking at the bookshelves behind me, which were chaos of books and tchotchkes. I like little tchotchke things. And she said, I thought I'm going to apply that Denise Lynn thing. So I have 17 shelves, 1 a day. I will have them done in short order. 2 weeks, a little over 2 weeks, they will be done. So, and you can already see the difference. A lot of the tchotchkes have been released. Good morning, Helen. Glad you're here. A lot of the tchotchkes have been released and sent on their way with love to whomever is meant to enjoy them next. And I think a big piece of releasing all of these things, we keep stuff. Think about all the storage units there are in America. Oh my goodness. All that stuff. What do we hang on to our stuff for? Oftentimes it's about fears. I'm going to need it and I'm not going to have it, or I'm going to forget so-and-so if I don't have their stuff anymore. So I've got my grandma's stuff, my mom's stuff, blah, blah, blah. 3 households full of stuff because you're afraid you're going to lose touch with that person who's passed on. Denise Lynn suggested pick out a couple of things that are the most near and dear to your heart from that person, and then release the rest. Bless it on its way. You don't have to keep every little dot and tittle from that person. Release it and pass it on. And actually someone I know very closely said that she's hung on to a lot of her mom's stuff. And she said, I can hear my mom on the other side saying to me, it's just stuff. It's just stuff. We all have to work those things through kindly and lovingly. Care for yourself as you're working at releasing things, all right? And again, addressing the fears that underlie those things. What are you pretending not to know? All right, so your mission today is, I in particular would like you practicing releasing the fearful stories you're telling yourself. So right now, if you have something that you're feeling fear about, I want you to peek behind that and figure out, what stories am I telling myself about this? What's the litany in my head about this? How fear-provoking is that litany? I will guarantee you there are inflammatory, provocative statements in there that are driving your fear up. All right? Release the story. Let it go. Turn it over to God. If you have a God jar, put it in your God jar. I'm releasing the story about X, Y, or Z. Turning it over to God. Every time it pops up again, nope, I've released that story. I've turned it over. I'm done with it. I'm not doing that anymore. Keep practicing. But that's what I'd like you to focus on today, is surrendering those stories you're telling yourself that set you up to be fearful. Have an awesome day. See you again tomorrow. Remember, you're capable of far more than you think you are. Maybe have a Reuben today. It'll be good. Bye-bye.